The Georgia Senate election is underway today, and there have been some reported issues. And Senator Kamala Harris is just like Joe Biden, full of plagiarism and bad ideas. Welcome to OK Miles. Before we jump into the biggest stories of the day, I am rolling out a brand new segment today. Here we go.
Who's that Democrat?
This Democrat has quite an ego, but that's almost too broad. This Democrat has had quite the response to COVID-19. So much so that he commissioned this poster to glamorize just how great of a job he did by sending over 6,300 COVID-19 positive patients back to their retirement homes where they came from. This Democrat's younger brother, Chris, or better known as Fredo, works for CNN. Can you name that Democrat? Let's go ahead and see if you're right.
It's Andrew Cuomo.
Apparently, not only did this awful New York governor seek to screw up the response to the pandemic, he is now actively seeking to screw up the rollout of the vaccine as well. It completely escapes me why he believes that his government knows how to manage anything. New York State laid out the framework for how the vaccine was to be deployed, and in a press conference just this morning, he really flexed his role as the governor by having his department threaten hospitals with a letter saying that they would receive a $100,000 fine if they didn't do things as fast as he told them to.
New York State Department of Health sent out a letter yesterday to all hospitals that said if you don't use the allocation by the end of this week, the allocation you've received by the end of this week, you can be fined and you won't receive further allocations. We'll use other hospitals who can administer it better.
While Cuomo was busy with that, his younger brother Fredo's news network was righteously dealt with by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis.
But Governor Ron DeSantis wouldn't even let me finish asking my question. Take a listen. Governor, what has gone wrong with the rollout of the vaccine that we've seen phone lines jammed, websites crashing?
It's a lot of demand. I mean, I think at the end of the day, excuse me.
If I could finish my question.
You just said what has gone wrong, so I'm answering the question.
If I could complete the question, though.
So you're going to give a speech or you're going to ask a question? Why was there a big line? Did you investigate why?
Could you tell us why?
Because we distributed vaccine to hospitals, and the hospital said, first come, first serve. If you show up, we'll do it. So they didn't use a registration system. There wasn't anything that was done, and there's a lot of demand for it. So people are going to want to go ahead and get it.
So are you saying there was no plan then from the state to make sure that senior citizens didn't wait outside overnight?
So the state is not dictating to hospitals we're not dictating to Carlos Magoya how he runs his operations here. That would be a total disaster. These guys are much more competent to be able to deliver healthcare services than a state government could ever be.
It's certainly no surprise to me that New York is well behind Florida in getting the vaccine out. It's amazing what happens when you keep the government small and out of the way. Well, and all eyes are on Georgia today as 2 Senate seats are up for grabs. Now, let's just take a recap of who the Democrats have put up really quick. Jon Ossoff, who is reportedly hiding financial ties to none other than China, and Raphael Warnock, a preacher whose wife only had kind words to say about him after he allegedly ran over her foot during a domestic dispute.
This man's running for United States Senate, and all he cares about right now is his reputation. I work at the mayor's office, and this is a big problem. I've been trying to be very quiet about the way that he is for the sake of my kids and his reputation. I've tried to keep the way that he acts under wraps for a long time, and today he crossed the line. So that is what is going on here, and he's a great actor. He is phenomenal at putting on a really good show.
Ah, Democrats. They're really bringing their best.
They're not sending their best.
Well, it seems that Dominion is having more problems today. The president tweeted out about issues within the 12th Congressional District in Georgia, a Republican stronghold, regarding the Dominion machines not working. The mainstream media couldn't help themselves when a voting system implementation manager in Georgia responded to the tweet saying it was old intel. So there was an issue in the early hours of the morning with Dominion voting systems, but thanks media for really splitting the hair on that one. Moving now from one P head to another, it came out that Kamala Harris, strives to be a version of Rachel Dolezal, in a sense. If you don't remember Rachel, she's the idiot who claimed to be black until her own parents outed her.
In the story of Rachel Dolezal, the NAACP leader now accused of lying about being black, her own parents coming out and saying their daughter is in fact white.
Well, Senator Harris evidently retold a story of her telling her mother that she wanted freedom when she was in a stroller at a civil rights march. Problem was, it was lifted from an interview from Playboy with none other than Martin Luther King. Apparently, she isn't all that great at having her own dreams. If you enjoyed the show today and would like to see more of this content, help us continue by sharing this video or following us on social media. I've provided the links below. If you would like to financially support us, you can do that now through Patreon. I'm Miles Rahimi, and I'll be back here tomorrow.